All right. Well, good morning, dear ones. We are So Too, and this is So Tuesday for August the 30th, 2016. The times they are chaotic. The times they seem to be presenting themselves in an almost insane sort of way that tends to be pushing as many of your buttons personally as possible. Those of you that are paying attention, those of you that are wondering what's going on, there is a great emotional upheaval going on in your world. There is a great dynamic of change occurring in your world as predicted and prognosticated by so many. You create your reality through your thoughts, your words, and your feelings. So consider how many different views and how many different aspects of things are being put out there at any one time, and you'll begin to understand how the reflection of your reality is as chaotic as it is. The dynamics of technology magnify the dynamics of words, the dynamics of thoughts, the dynamics of feelings, so much so that we would suggest to you that looking at your reality, we would suggest that that you are creating the chaos that you are experiencing. Now, please understand that any one of you as individuals find it difficult to make any difference in the dynamic of the consensus reality, and that's not where you need to make your changes. You need to make your changes in your personal life. So much in the dynamics of everything in your world are asking you, who is it that you're going to be? Are you going to reconnect with each other, or are you going to keep fighting each other? Are you going to come together as a humanity, or are you going to keep doing the whole divide and conquer game? Those of you that seek power in your world, we would suggest to you that it's time to begin to rethink that. It's time to begin to rethink the dynamics of power over. It's time to rethink the dynamics of adolescence because, dear ones, that's what you're presenting. You're presenting a very adolescent picture in your world. So many, of the situations, of the, what shall we say, systems that you have set up in your world, and they are self perpetuating at this point in time, are based upon conflict, are based upon divide and conquer. There is only one way to change that dynamic, and that is to change your attitude and to change, what's going on, the choices that you make, and the reasons that you make them in your world. You cannot keep abdicating responsibility to others. You cannot keep abdicating responsibility to politicians, to leaders, to spiritual leaders, to gurus, to energies like us. You cannot keep abdicating your responsibility. And your responsibility is to grow up. Earthly humanity is being asked to grow up. Now, the other choice is to grow down, to crash and burn, and to start over again. We have often said the times of greatest crisis are the times of greatest opportunities for change. The question is, what responsibility are you going to take in the change? And we're talking about personal responsibility. Gear this to the dynamic of self. Are you a farmer? Is it time for you to consider growing non GMO, non chemical food so that the people that you are serving are able to, what shall we say, survive with more nutrition? Is factory farming the way to go in this world so that the mass of money and the mass of energy, or is food a right? Should food be a commodity? Well, now there's a thought, isn't it? So many of you believe in the dynamic of spirit. Do you think that God, Goddess, all that is, chooses some of you over another? Do you really believe that you would be of one race, earthly humanity, and that some would be favored over others? This whole dynamic of understanding the duality has to be based in the dynamic of spirit, because we wish to tell you something. That is the unknown factor here. Your reality, your consensus reality, acts as the subconscious of your species. And so the things that you believe will be reflected to you through the dynamics of that consensus reality. If you believe that you are not safe and you cannot be safe and everyone is here to take something from you, then that is the reality you will create for yourself. But if you begin to work together to create a reality that is based upon human dignity, that is based upon the understanding that if each of you started from an equal playing field, that if each of you, and we mean every person on the planet, had their basic needs met, food, water, shelter, healthcare, education, an equal start, there would be no more war. Now you say to us, so too. That's impossible in this world. Is it? Is it really? Or does it really just take an attitude change? You know, we do not wish to talk about the dynamic of capitalism, because capitalism, from a heart-centered way, can be made to work. But free market capitalism, just leaving it up to the profit and loss, and we're sorry, dear ones, that doesn't and hasn't worked and is going to become apparent to even those of you that are in complete and absolute denial. Change is afoot, dear ones. The pressure from the consensus will continue to increase until you begin to realize that you have a choice to make. Are you going to continue in your adolescence, in the dynamic of black and white, in the dynamic of either or, governed by your reptilian brain of fight or flight, and all of the manifestations of that dynamic of building a reality based upon fear? Are you going to continue that way? Or are you going to create something new, something different, something more? Are you going to continue in the dynamics of judgment, in the dynamics of black and white, the dynamics of either or of your adolescence, or are you going to grow up? Are you going to be the species that annihilates itself and has to restart again? Or are you going to be the civilization that begins to measure itself by how well the least of you are doing, not the best? Change is afoot, dear ones. Change is afoot. Take a deep breath and ride the crest of the wave. And we will be back next week to tell you more. We are So Too, and this is So Tuesday for August 30th, 2016. We love you all so very, very much. And so until the next time we close, sending you peace, peace with enough for all, sending you happiness, sending you joy.